I talk to her every single day and just, continue to pray for her and stay positive for her. I tell her every day she's the strongest woman I know. And I'm really, really proud of just how she's handling everything and just want to continue to be there, as much as I can for her as a friend. She's just an amazing human being, just amazing.
Vanessa Bryant has spent the past 5 years building an image of pure strength. The grieving widow who stood tall after losing Kobe. The protective mom holding her family together under non-stop cameras. She was seen as the rock, the woman who turned pain into purpose, keeping Kobe's legacy alive through charities and public appearances. But now, that polished image is cracking wide open, and the internet is eating it up. Because this summer in Los Angeles, gossip pages exploded with one wild claim after another that Vanessa Bryant might be secretly caught up in a romance with Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown. And not just a fling either. Whispers are spinning into full-blown allegations of a pregnancy. That's right. Some people are actually suggesting Kobe's widow isn't just moving forward, but moving on way sooner and way more dramatically than anyone ever thought possible.
So we're incredibly proud of him. And there's some solace in knowing that he was probably going to be a part of the 2020 Hall of Fame class.
Vanessa and Natalia, we continue to keep you in our thoughts and prayers, and we marvel at your strength. And congratulations on a...
The question is this a shocking new chapter in her life? Or just a dirty online smear meant to drag down a woman who's already lived through unthinkable pain? Either way, the drama is spiraling fast. It all started with coincidental sightings. Grainy paparazzi snaps of Vanessa and Jaylen slipping into a high-end spot in West Hollywood. His hand casually brushing her back, her smile looking a little too familiar. You know, the type of photos that light up the internet. Then came the so-called private event pics, blurry enough to hide who took them, but just clear enough to make people start connecting dots. Within hours, hashtags linking the two were trending, and supposed insiders swore the romance had been bubbling for months.
I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to move forward and strive to do this in the future. But everything I set out to do, I did. And he was such at peace, and his wife was just his wonderful wife, Vanessa, was just a few feet away when he was talking to me. And he was I'd never seen him that happy, that at peace. And that's why it just hit me so hard when he ultimately passed away.
And then came the twist that sent social media into full meltdown. Edited photos of Vanessa rocking loose designer fits, layered with captions screaming about a baby bump. None of this came with a single solid source, but let's be real. For people who live off scandal, facts don't matter when the tea sounds this juicy. The backlash was instant, and in some places, downright brutal. To her defenders, these rumors were nothing but a low blow. A tacky shot at a grieving mother who hasn't been publicly linked to anyone since Kobe's passing. But to her critics, especially those die-hard Kobe fans who've crowned themselves as guardians of his legacy, this was straight-up betrayal. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Some were accusing Vanessa of spitting on Kobe's memory, saying she moved on too fast and disrespected the mourning period. And the fact that Jaylen Brown is young, rich, and already building his own superstar brand? Oh, that just made the fire hotter. People couldn't decide if this was some secret fairy tale love story rewriting all the rules, or just a nasty fabrication cooked up for clicks, clout, and chaos. But Vanessa didn't pick up a mic or call a magazine to clap back. No, her answer came straight through the language of the internet itself. Late one Sunday night, her Instagram stories went off. Back-to-back posts of Rihanna memes that said it all without saying a word.
Kobe Bryant and his wife Vanessa, the now retired Kobe Bryant. So I've got to ask her the first question. What's it like having him hanging around all the time?
We love it.
You do love
Yeah,
it.
we actually do. We got used to him being around the last 3 seasons because of his injuries.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
And
great having him home.
I know you guys are expecting a third daughter, so congratulations. I can highly recommend that.
One photo, Rihanna stretched out in a pool, shades on, middle finger up, with the caption, "Me, protecting my peace, not pregnant, and having fun all summer." Then came another shot, just as savage. I'm not mean, I'm just not the one. No names, no direct denials. But the message hit hard. Vanessa wasn't confirming a thing. She was flipping the script, reclaiming the narrative in the sly, culture-savvy tone that says, "Speculate all you want, I'm unbothered." It wasn't just a clap back. It was a cultural statement, challenging that tired idea that widows have to stay locked in grief forever to be considered respectable. But here's the twist. Instead of killing the gossip, those Rihanna posts became part of the drama. Some fans asked, why respond at all if there's no truth? Others argued her posts screamed frustration, like she was done living in the little box strangers built for her. And just when it looked like the rumor mill would feast on this for weeks, boom. A brand new headline snatched Vanessa's name back into the spotlight. This one had nothing to do with NBA players or memes. It was way messier. Court papers revealed that Vanessa's own mother, Sophia Lane, had filed a lawsuit against her. The lawsuit wasn't just messy, it was brutal in the way it was laid out. Sophia claimed she had basically been Vanessa's unpaid personal assistant and caretaker for nearly 20 years, with constant promises of financial security that never came true. She demanded millions, painting herself as the mother who gave her life to supporting Vanessa and Kobe, only to be coldly cut off when she needed help the most. From the outside looking in, the optics were explosive. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was family betrayal stamped in black and white court records. And the narrative wrote itself. Sophia, the mom who stood by through the early Kobe years. The same woman photographed courtside holding Vanessa's daughters, smiling at family milestones, now claiming she'd been working behind the scenes all along, unpaid and unappreciated. She described herself as essential to the Bryant household, like the backbone no one ever acknowledged. For Vanessa, who the world saw as the face of resilience and dignity, being sued by her own mother hit like a dagger to the chest, and worse, a direct hit to her carefully built brand. The emotional toll of a battle like this is impossible to measure, especially for someone who has already survived unthinkable loss. It was the kind of betrayal that cuts way deeper than online gossip ever could. And the timing couldn't have been more dramatic. Just days earlier, Vanessa had been at Dodger Stadium for a moving tribute to Kobe, standing tall on the field with her daughters as little Bianca threw the ceremonial first pitch. The photos from that night looked like a perfect slice of Americana. Smiling kids, supportive teammates, a widow wrapped in love by a city that still treats Kobe like royalty. But within hours, those heartwarming images were sharing the spotlight with court filings and wild speculation threads. The contrast was unreal. One moment celebrated as a symbol of strength, the next dragged into headlines about lawsuits and family betrayal. We all know how these cycles spin. Fake lovers, phantom pregnancies, and messy family lawsuits. Each one feeds a different corner of the gossip machine. Put them together, and suddenly you've got the perfect storm of speculation, sympathy, and straight-up schadenfreude. It's the kind of media hurricane that can swallow even the strongest public figures whole. And right now, Vanessa Bryant is standing dead center in the eye of it all. With whispers of secret romances, pregnancy rumors, and her own mother dragging her to court, the question hanging in the air is harsh and maybe unfair. Is Vanessa's world about to come crashing down? But just when you think the scandal couldn't possibly twist any tighter, another storyline starts creeping in, this time with nothing to do with blurry paparazzi photos or courtroom filings. Nope, this one comes straight from the shadowy corners of celebrity finance threads and conspiracy forums, whispers about a hidden fortune. According to the growing chatter, Kobe may have left behind way more than the polished estate and public assets we already know about. The theory claims he funneled millions into offshore accounts, private partnerships, and low-key investments that only he, and maybe now Vanessa, knew how to access. And people are starting to wonder, is Vanessa quietly cashing in on that treasure map? Look at her moves, the sudden expansion of Kobe's business empire under her leadership, the rollout of high-dollar brand collabs, the splashy purchases of luxury real estate. To some, these aren't just widow moves. They're signals she's quietly unlocking Kobe's secret vault. Others say it's nothing more than a fever dream from jealous onlookers who can't stand to see her win. But the theory is magnetic because it fits so neatly with her real-life plays. We've all seen Vanessa fronting the new Mamba and Mambachita Foundation, steering Granite Studios projects, and keeping an active hand in the Bryant-Steibel venture capital machine. A former sports marketing exec even told one gossip site, the kind of capital it takes to expand on all those fronts doesn't usually come from just liquidating an athlete's known assets. Believers took that as proof. She's dipping into a financial reservoir the public never knew existed. The less scandalous view? Vanessa is simply carrying out Kobe's carefully laid investment plans. But conspiracy loves a vacuum, and right now, ambiguity is everywhere. And with this so-called treasure hunt theory gaining steam, her mother Sophia's lawsuit suddenly looks even messier. It's no longer just about unpaid labor or broken promises. In the eyes of some, it's about who really holds power over Kobe's legacy and the fortune tied to it. Critics are pointing out the timing. Sophia dropped her lawsuit right when Vanessa was already drowning in Jaylen Brown rumors and baby bump talk. Coincidence? Or a cold-blooded power play hitting Vanessa while her public image was already wobbling? For those siding with Vanessa, this lawsuit feels like an ambush straight from the heart. They argue that battling your own parent is brutal enough behind closed doors. But under the glare of paparazzi flashes, gossip blogs, and endless comment sections, that's not just legal drama, that's public theater. And the more people watch, the more public opinion can shift, long before a judge even hears the case. Some believe Sophia's team knows exactly what they're doing, using the optics to pressure Vanessa into cutting a quick settlement just to stop the bleeding. But on the flip side, Sophia's defenders say she's not staging anything. She's simply fighting for what she feels she's owed after years of loyalty and sacrifice. This isn't just a money battle. It's about narrative control. Every headline, every trending hashtag, every tabloid cover is a strategic move in a game of power between mother and daughter. And while that war rages on, another battle is unfolding right in the streets of Los Angeles, one written not in court papers, but in spray paint and mural-sized tributes. Towering portraits of Kobe and Gigi keep popping up across the city, painted in purple, gold, and heartbreaking symbolism. To fans, these murals are beautiful grassroots expressions of love. But in today's climate, not everyone sees them as innocent. Some critics are now whispering that these murals are more than fan tributes. They're calculated moves, carefully timed to shield Vanessa's image whenever controversy heats up. The timing doesn't go unnoticed. New murals often debut right around charity launches or court updates, almost like each one doubles as a tribute and a PR chess piece. Through the Mamba and Mambachita Foundation, Vanessa hasn't just supported these murals, she's promoted them, posting them across social media, tying them to brand collabs, even linking them to sponsored events. Normally, that would be seen as a widow protecting Kobe and Gigi's legacy. But with lawsuits swirling and gossip catching fire, detractors are calling it what they believe it is: image insulation, a shiny shield, reminding the world she's the guardian of Kobe's name and memory, right when her reputation feels under attack. The psychology behind it is deep. Public memorials like this invite shared mourning, giving fans a space to cry, connect, and hold on to the figures they lost. And that grief often morphs into loyalty. Loyalty that can sway how scandals are received. When nearly every city block offers a glowing reminder of Kobe and Gigi's greatness, it becomes harder for fans to believe any narrative painting Vanessa as the villain. And that's the dividing line. Critics see the murals as carefully timed reinforcements of her public brand, while supporters argue these art projects stretch back years, long before lawsuits or Jaylen Brown rumors ever surfaced. To them, it's not strategy, it's tradition, part of the Bryant family's public heartbeat. For Vanessa's supporters, the idea that she'd manipulate Kobe and Gigi tributes just for a quick PR boost feels not only unfair, but downright disrespectful to the artists and communities pouring their hearts into those murals. But in the world of high-profile scandals, intent doesn't always matter. Perception does, and perception can crush someone long before the truth ever gets sorted out. And perception is complicated when the tributes stretch far beyond Los Angeles. Kobe and Gigi murals haven't just appeared in LA, They've popped up in Manila, Milan, Melbourne, and more, each one celebrated by fans online and often boosted by official foundation pages. Now, no one's saying Vanessa flew to Italy or the Philippines to order murals herself. But when her team amplifies them on social media, it feeds into the narrative that this is more than organic grief. It's a coordinated story being told worldwide. That raises a heavy question. Is this global reach simply the natural result of Kobe's universal admiration, or is it also a savvy play to keep the Bryant brand emotionally alive in every market? Because here's the uncomfortable truth about public life. Even the most heartfelt gestures can be read as strategy when they're stacked next to lawsuits and gossip headlines. A mural, a scholarship, a charity gala. On their own, they're beautiful, pure acts of legacy keeping. But place them in a timeline filled with family lawsuits and baby bump rumors, and suddenly people can't help but wonder if these gestures are also being used as shields. Fair or not, they shape the court of public opinion. And that court is loud, ruthless, and always delivers its verdict way before any judge does. And that's why these murals aren't just paint on walls anymore. They're active players in Vanessa's ongoing narrative war. Every unveiling, every repost of a tearful fan standing under Kobe's image becomes a new moment of debate. Is Vanessa the unshakable guardian of Kobe's legacy, or a master strategist using grief as PR armor? As long as both sides exist, every fresh mural carries not only the weight of memory, but also the burden of questions no brushstroke can ever answer. And when you overlay all of this, the offshore fortune whispers, Sophia's lawsuit, and the Jaylen Brown baby bump drama, a darker possibility creeps in. What if none of these scandals are isolated at all? What if the lawsuits, the rumors, the headlines are all part of a broader campaign to chip away at Vanessa's grip on the Bryant empire? Here's how the theory plays out. First, destabilize Vanessa's public image with messy scandals. Then, pile on the pressure with family lawsuits. Next, stir doubts about her control over Kobe's fortune, and finally, wait for the cracks to widen enough for someone else to step in. Sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood thriller, but with stakes this high, it doesn't feel so far-fetched. Because the Bryant name isn't just about basketball history. It's about hundreds of millions in assets, global brand power, and cultural capital that stretches far beyond the court. And when that much money and influence is on the table, people start asking who really benefits if Vanessa's image starts to collapse. What makes it chilling is how neatly the timeline lines up. One week, she's dodging whispers of a secret romance and a pregnancy rumor bombshell. The next, she's locked in a brutal court fight with her own mother. Then comes the steady drip of think pieces, podcast debates, and gossip posts speculating about Kobe's hidden fortune. Each headline chips away at the image of strength Vanessa has carefully built. And the scariest part? Public perception can shift way faster than the facts ever do. Now the question isn't just whether Vanessa can beat a lawsuit or survive another rumor cycle. The real question is whether she's facing something bigger, something coordinated. Could this be part of a calculated takedown designed to strip her of control over Kobe's empire? Or could there be buried truths that, if exposed, would flip the entire narrative of who Vanessa really is? One thing's clear. The fight over Kobe Bryant's legacy is nowhere near finished. So what do you think is really happening behind those gates? Is Vanessa the victim of a plot, or is there more to this story than she wants us to know? Drop your theories in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.